I am Airman Sanchez. I am Mexican. Some dishes in our culture include menudo, pozole, tripa tacos. Sweets, we have tres leches, conchas, pan dulce. Drinks, we have horchata. This one's not really a drink, but it's kind of the same like horchata, but it's arroz con leche. There's flan. The food is significant to my culture because the flavors in it. We use many more spices than some others would. The leaves that we put in our food, I don't know exactly what they're called. They're not tree leaves, I swear. Most of the foods that we make are spicy foods. I feel like our food brings diversity to America because it's not what you would normally think people to eat. So like, for example, tripas, that's like small intestines of, like, I would say, I guess, pigs, and not normally other cultures would eat that. Menudo is like beef stomach and like broth. Not normal people do that. Sometimes they have pig feet in them. I don't feel like all cultures would put animal feet in their food. Or eat their stomach or intestines. Our culture's food just brings a lot of flavor to the table. I feel like I bring diversity by educating others on my culture.
My name is Airman Nunez. I'm from Georgetown, Texas. About a quarter Hispanic or Mexican. Well, a lot of Mexican music derives from sort of like polka from German. You got the accordions and other instruments that you'd see generally used in German. So they've had a heavy influence in Mexican culture of music. I mean, you've got other kinds of music. I mean, I've had festivals that I've gone to. You have just straight guitars that are playing some music. Nowadays, you got like hip hop, Spanish speaking. That sounds weird, but it is what it is. I mean, Mexican music has a huge impact on, I think, a lot of the development of culture here into America, especially down in the South. A lot of the music that you hear from Mexico, for me, means a lot of family gathering, because that's where it's come from. Every time we've had a big family gathering, big reunion, there's always been music there. It brings people together. I mean, whether that be at a Mexican restaurant or out at a party. Some famous musicians that you've got that have come from South America, like Richie Valens sang the La Bamba, very famous song. You got Selena, you've got a whole bunch of just people that have come here and made the most of it, and they've influenced modern music in their own way, and I feel like that also brings diversity to us as the sailors, because they also influence us how we think and what kind of music we listen to, and so that changes how we act. I feel like I bring diversity to the military because everybody's different. Nobody's had the same backstory that I have, and I feel like all of us mishing together makes one giant team that works together well.
My name's Angelica Diaz. I'm from San Diego, California. I'm half Mexican, half Honduran. The fashion in Honduras is usually like traditional clothing is worn in usually like in festivals and like certain celebrations. The women usually wear long dresses, which are handmade with different colors, and then men usually wear white clothing, a white button shirt, white pants, and also wear a red scarf and a sombrero. It's a way of representing of like where they're from, you know, just their tradition, how they work and stuff. I was there when I was a little girl, so for the most part it's really like, at least the area that I was there and I visited, it was really poor. So like for the most part people were just wearing like what, jeans and a shirt, and they're like making bricks to like build houses and stuff. You know, construction. Depending where you go, there's actually really nice places. The clothing, you know, just tradition, everything just different from here, at least. I feel like I bring diversity to the Navy because where I'm at right now, there isn't a lot of like Hispanic people. So like to meet someone and then for them to ask you like, what's your race or like ethnicity, and you say, oh, I'm Mexican, and then I'm half Honduran, they're like, oh wow, like it's not as common for people to like meet someone that's from, you know, someone that they've never heard of before. So they'll start asking you questions and they start getting curious of like, have you been there? Like, what's over there? How does it look like? It's just something different. It's not as common.
In the spring of 1942, at 22 years old, I was a factory worker and a Spanish immigrant enlisted in the United States Coast Guard. By the end of the decade, I was a highly decorated war hero, a survivor of World War II's worst accidental maritime disaster, and one of the first Hispanic American officers in the United States Coast Guard. On May 21st, 1944, as a petty officer 2nd class, I was standing duty on a landing ship tank in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. Another ship loading ammunition exploded, setting off a chain reaction of fires and subsequent explosions. Me and 3 of my shipmates made 2 trips into the affected area, saving approximately 42 injured men. On the 3rd attempt, our small boat was swamped and sank. I suffered multiple burns, and Westlock disaster claimed the lives of approximately 163 people and wounded at least 396. My legacy continues to inspire others in the face of danger. In 2016, the Coast Guard commissioned into service the latest fast response cutter, the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Joseph Tezanos, to honor me. Who am I? Ensign Joseph Tezanos.
I served 50 years in the Air Force Civil Service. During my tenure, I championed the employment and advancement of women, minorities, and those with disabilities before retiring in 2011. My career began as an administrative assistant, where I discovered my passion for helping recruit women and minorities into federal service and promoting equal opportunity. My efforts led to senior personnel recommending me for new position, Air Force Hispanic Employment Program Manager. I then became the longest serving Air Force and only female HEP manager since the position was created, serving in that position for 10 years. Who am I? I am Mary Alamar Young.
I received my commission at the U.S. Military Academy at West Point in 1959. After I graduated from Ranger and Airborne School, I served in Korea with the 1st Cavalry Division. I then volunteered to go to Vietnam as an advisor. In 1963, my unit came under intense motor, automatic weapons, and small arms fire during a mission to destroy a Viet Cong command post. I was severely wounded, and I continued to fight until my capture. I withstood exhaustive interrogations, torture, and abuse for 23 months. I attempted to escape 4 times. I inspired other prisoners of war. Last time, my fellow soldiers could hear my voice. They could hear me singing, "God Bless America." I was finally isolated from other prisoners of war in a series of jungle camps, caged, manacled, and placed on extremely reduced rations. The North Vietnamese announced my execution on September 26, 1965. Till then, no one has recovered my body. I was nominated for the Medal of Honor in 1969 when an escaped prisoner of war documented my bravery. I was finally awarded the Medal of Honor in 2002. Who am I? I am Captain Humbert Rocky Versace.
My career is filled with many accomplishments. Presently, I am the Deputy Director, Air National Guard, the Pentagon, Arlington, Virginia. On September 11, 2001, I was serving as the 113th Wing Vice Commander and as an F-16 pilot protecting the nation's capital when the U.S. was attacked. Lieutenant Heather Penny and I were launched to track hijacked United Airlines Flight 93 and destroy it. Missiles were absent from our fighter jets, which were only packed with dummy ammunition from a recent training mission, leaving only one way to complete the mission, ramming the aircraft. A suicide military tactic known as a kamikaze mission, named after military aviators from the Empire of Japan during World War II. I flew my aircraft alongside the aircraft of my wingman, Lieutenant Penny. We agreed that I would take out the cockpit and that she would take the tail. Our fighter jets passed over the ravaged Pentagon building. However, it was not until hours later that we found out that United 93 had already gone down in the field outside Shanksville, Pennsylvania, killing all 44 people aboard, including the 4 hijackers. Who am I? I am Major General Mark Sasivea.